UFC veteran, current PFL Featherweight, one of the most violent fighters in the game. How was practice today, Shane? What's up, Robert Ricchio?
It was good, man. I was training with Julio Arce. He was my training partner for the day. So he's got a big fight coming up with Cody Garbrandt in March. So I was helping get him ready.
Yeah, that's a big announcement. I'm excited for that one. What is that, UFC 285, something like that?
I lost first, man. I used to be really good with that back in the day, like back in high school. But I'm so god. It's after 100. I'm like, fuck. It went all downhill from that with my memory.
So last time I saw you, you were cage side at the PFL Championships. You were supposed to fight in that event. You unfortunately went down with an injury. What did you make of that event? How did you enjoy yourself that night at the championships?
Awesome event. It was fun. Nice shirt, bro. It was an awesome event. You were there firsthand. You saw it. The energy was awesome. I've been to a lot of different shows, local shows, regional shows. Obviously I've been to a bunch of different UFCs and stuff. That was a fun event. Like I brought a lot of people that were supposed to come see me fight. They still went. Like a lot of my friends, my cousins, my family, they all went and they said the same thing. Like out of all the events we went to, that we were like, that might have been one of the more fun ones. Like from just like an energy perspective, it just felt fun.
Yep. A lot of finishes, a lot of millions of dollars being handed out. Of course, Pacheco beating Kayla. What did you make of that Marlon Moraes, Shaman Moraes fight? Do you see yourself fighting one of those two maybe in the future, maybe early on next season?
Possibly. I'm still still dabbling, debating on 45 or 55 for this season coming up. So that's still in the back of my mind. I got to make a choice pretty damn soon, but I'm still thinking about that. But it was a great fight. Marlon did a great job the first two rounds, really negated Shaman and shut him down the first two rounds. And then Shaman came out hot, knowing in the third round, he knew he was down on the scorecards and he knew he had to make something happen. He went out there and he made it happen. He got that win.
Wilkins.
Yeah.
So I need to ask you, when you first signed with PFL, did they tell you straight out, we're about to make some moves, we're about to go out and get some guys like Marlon Moraes followed in your footsteps, you're a trendsetter, Thiago Santos, Aspen Ladd, and now, of course, Jake Paul. Was that something that intrigued you and led you to sign with them in the first place?
They didn't flat out say that they were going to make these kind of moves. You know what I mean? They weren't going to show me all their hand, if you will, but they did say they were working on big things in the future. And I didn't know exactly what that meant, but I did put my faith in them. And I think that Jake Paul no matter how you feel about Jake Paul, I feel like that's a huge signing. It really is a big deal. It's going to bring a lot of attention, whether you hate him, you love him, whatever it is, doesn't matter. It's going to bring a lot of attention and a lot of eyeballs because everybody wants to see how this guy's going to do MMA. Everyone wants to see it. It's a fact. So him coming over, I'm not hating on it at all. Please come over, bring more attention to me because it's a trickle down effect. When people watch him fight, then you watch me fight. So if I don't get to fight him, which would be fucking awesome if we get to fight, but if I don't get to fight him, at least put me on the card with him. I want more people to watch my fights.
What's the heaviest you would go to fight Jake Paul?
Bro, money talks. You know what I mean? So I would be making pay-per-view points for that fight. So I'll do it at 85. I would do it at 85. I would cut no weight. I'd probably have to put on some weight.
Yeah,
I would do 85.
That would be dope. I got to ask you on the same topic. Did you find out like the rest of us on social media and all these MMA pages, or you found out just like
I woke up and I was like, what? No fucking way. And yes way.
That's easy. I wanted to say about Jake Paul, I used to, before I got into all this MMA stuff, I kind of disliked him a little bit. I just didn't really, before he was even, I don't know, like when he fought Nate Robinson, I was rooting for Nate Robinson. I'm from New York. I love Nate Robinson and stuff. But like what he's doing for the sport, advocating for fighter pay, he's bringing out PFL now. Like I can't hate on him any longer. I don't think anybody should be. He's doing all the things right. So
exactly.
Excited.
Doesn't matter how you feel about him. Put all that shit aside. Like it's a trickle down effect. It's good for MMA. It's good for the sport. It's 100% genius and great for PFL specifically.
I think if you care about the sport and you want the sport to grow, you're pro Jake Paul at this point. You have to be.
Yeah.
So he said he's going to be in a super fight division. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Do you know at all what that will entail? Because I have no idea.
Like I don't know if it'll be in season fight. Like when you have the tournament, the fight cards with the tournament on it. I think it'll be another one outside or in between that, where you get guys that maybe lost the tournament fights, so they're not in the tournament anymore, and they'll be in these super fights. Kind of like where I was with my last fight. Like me and Marlon were gonna fight, kind of like just off of not an exhibition, but kind of like a super fight. So I think it's gonna be something like that, where they're gonna get guys that aren't in the tournament anymore, or maybe guys that aren't looking to be in the tournament, and they're just going to be in these one-off fights just to build these cards bigger.
Just like Aspen Ladd and Julia Budd,
Exactly.
Same thing.
Exactly.
I was going to ask you about your brother Ryan Burgos. Any fight news? Anything coming up?
Yeah, working on March 31st for CFFC. Trying to get an opponent for that. I'm looking for either 25 or 35. I'm open for him. That's how much I believe in the kid. Like he's so good that I'm willing to have him just basically cut a couple pounds just to do it 35 and smoke somebody at 35. So we're working on some options at 25, 35. But like I said, I think the kid's a fucking beast.
I gotta ask you. You're very active fighter in your UFC career. Are you anticipating fighting more often in this regular season format? Are there things you have to do different in training if you have to cut weight more often or do things a little bit differently for the PFL?
Yeah, it's 100%. It's completely different. I mean, and I've never fought back-to-back in 6 weeks. I fought relatively back-to-back, but never a 6-week turnaround. So that's going to be an adjustment. So I don't know how I'm going to approach it necessarily. I'm kind of just going to go with the flow and feel it out and see how it goes. Because I mean, my first fight, obviously, you always go into your fights trying to end it as quick as possible. So let's say I do end it as quick as possible. I'm fresh for the next one. Great. Let's say I don't end it as quick as possible, and I get a first fight that's a war. Now I got to go into the next one banged up. So I got to find out how to work around those bang ups, or if you will, and how to adjust my training schedule to fit into that kind of a schedule. Because like I said, that's hard, man. 4 fights in 8 months, basically. It's really
playing into your thought process with deciding between lightweight and featherweight. Maybe if you go lightweight, you won't have to cut the weight as often.
100%, 100%. Everybody knows I'm a big featherweight. Yeah, I don't even think I would be a small lightweight, honestly, at this point.
Another powerful featherweight, Josh Emmett taking on Yair Rodriguez. Is that a fight you're looking forward to?
Oh yeah, bro. I'm super pumped for that one. I'm ready to see Josh get that title. I mean, I feel like the dude deserved his shot. He's earned his shot. I'm excited to see it. I think stylistically too, I think it's a great matchup for him. I think he's clearly the better wrestler. Yair's clearly the better kicker. And then when it comes to hands, I think Emmett clearly has more power in his hands, but I also think he's a better boxer overall. So I really think Yair only has a kicking advantage in this fight. But it's the dude can kick. He kicks like a fucking horse. So it's not an easy matchup at all. But if I had to pick, I'm definitely going.
I think power is one of the most underestimated like things in the sport. Like, of course, fighters know it, opponents know it, but I don't really hear fans talking about it too much. But he's one of the most powerful guys in the sport. Gotta ask you about this guy, Dylan Danis. He spells his name wrong, but that's not what I'm gonna ask you about. So you trained with him. He recently pulled out of the fight, or the fight was off between him and KSI. Some people find him hard to like at times, but I've heard from you and your brother, he's a great training partner. He's a good guy to be in the gym. You probably know better than most people. Do you see him competing in 2023, whether it be boxing, grappling, or Bellator, where he's still currently under contract? Where I can't hear you. Okay, I hear you now. Yeah.
For him to go, the KSI fight would have been a huge payday for him. I don't see why he wouldn't come back to MMA. I mean, he can come back, he can fight who the fuck cares. Everyone's hating on him and stuff like that, which is, I understand, I get it. He goes out there, he puts himself out there, he puts himself in the position to get hated to keep his name relevant, which it's a genius move. But I think he's definitely gonna come back to MMA this year. I don't see why he wouldn't.
He is a master of staying relevant, and it is a skill in this sport in this day and age with social media and stuff.
Yeah. No matter, like, people are all saying this shit, like, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's not keep him relevant. As soon as he gets the fight booked, everyone's tuning in. It's just a fact. Everyone's going to tune in. Whether you want to see him win or you want to see him lose, you're going to fucking tune in. So, like, he's doing a good job of making people want to tune in still.
Definitely. All right, I just got a couple questions. I'm going to let you go. You're a busy man. I got a speed round for you, 5 fights. I just want you to tell me who you think is going to win these fights. 3 from the upcoming UFC 283, the next pay-per-view. First, we'll go main event, Jamal Hill, Glover Teixeira.
I got to go with G Glover. Oh, I like Glover, man. Glover Teixeira fan for sure. I like Jamal Hill too. Like, his Instagram is hilarious. He's probably one of the funniest guys on Instagram right now. But I got to go with Glover. Just because it's an OG pick. But I do think he's way better on the ground when it comes to jiu-jitsu. So I'm going to go with Glover by submission.
All right, I like it. Neil Magny, New York guy, versus Gilbert Burns.
Hard for me to pick against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is a fucking beast. I mean, Neil's a beast too. Neil's got cardio for days, the longest reach in the division. He had one of the longest winning streaks. I think he has most wins in the welterweight division. Got nothing but respect. But it's hard to pick against the multiple-time world champion jiu-jitsu guy and the dude that has fucking dynamite in his hand. So I'm going with Gilbert Burns for that one. I don't know how he's gonna win that one, but I got Gilbert Burns.
I respect it. Last one for that card: Moreno versus Figueiredo 4.
I almost feel like you could just flip a coin on that one and then see where it lands because I don't know exactly. If I had to pick, I'm going to go with Moreno, but I don't know. And now I'm thinking about it. Now I think I might be picking Figueiredo by decision. I see. I was just going to pick Moreno. Now I'm leaning Figueiredo by decision.
All right. I have no idea for that one. I feel like people are with you. We have no idea. 2 more upcoming in February. We mentioned Perth, UFC 284 with Yair and Josh Emmett, but the main event, Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski, lightweight championship. What do you think?
Man, if I gotta pick Islam just based off he's way bigger. That style is so fucking hard to deal with. But I saw that DC said that if Volkanovski wins, that it would be the biggest upset in MMA history, and I think that's him saying how good Islam is because he sees it in the gym firsthand, which I completely understand. But it wouldn't even be top 10 biggest upsets in UFC history. Honestly, it wouldn't even be. It really wouldn't be. Like, I don't know how that would be higher than GSP versus Sarah.
No,
I don't. There's a bunch more. I just don't know. Bisping versus Rockhold. I don't know how that one would be bigger because you got the #1 pound for pound fighter in Alexander Volkanovski. Like, the dude is fucking legit. He's been getting significantly better over his fights. Like, in the last 2 years, you look at his fight 2 years ago to his last couple fights. Like, he looks like a completely different fighter. He looks super dangerous, super fast, crispy, hard to hit, defensively sound, like everywhere from top to bottom. The dude is legit. So if you tell me if the dude wins, that's going to be the biggest upset in the history of the sport, I do not buy that at all. I think he has a legitimate chance. If it was a boxing match, I'm picking Volkanovski. Straight up picking Volkanovski. So I think on the feet, Volkanovski's going to win. But they're not going to stay on the feet too long. I think that Islam's going to take him down and hold him down for 5 rounds. So if I had to pick, I'm going with Islam by decision, but I'm rooting for Volkanovski for sure.
I think there were fights like in this past calendar year that would have been bigger upsets. I think if Kevin Holland beat Hamzat, that would have been a bigger upset. Like, that would have been like, what the hell?
Leon versus Usman. That's top 3 maybe of all time. And it's hard for me to even say that because I think Leon is legit.
Yeah.
And you got Glover Teixeira winning the belt. Like, there's so many other upsets that I think would be bigger than that one.
All right, that's the 5 fights. I'm more excited for this fight than any of the previous 4. Marlon Chito Vera versus Corey Sandhagen, February 18th, then fight night. What do you think?
So Aravani posted it, and I completely agree that he's pissed and he's like offended that it's at the Apex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man, because that is a phenomenal fight. That's a fucking that can like almost main event a pay-per-view, I think, like, because I that's how much I like watching both those guys fight. That Cheeto is I think he's like top 5, one of the best finishers in the UFC pound for pound. He has so many different ways to finish, from his submissions to his elbows to his kicks to his punches. So I got a lot of respect for him as a finisher. You got Corey, who's so fucking creative on his feet and so I don't know. He's so flowy. The way he strikes, like him versus Peter Yan was one of my favorite fights of all time because it was like poetry in motion watching those two fight. Like the way they switched stances in the middle of combinations, and it was like painting a picture. It was like fluid. It was perfect. It was pretty. It was like a beautiful fight to watch. So if that's a hard fucking fight to pick, Cheeto always finds a way to win. It's hard to pick against him. But Corey's the motherfucker. So I'm leaning towards Corey by decision. But that is a hard fight.
You know that Cheeto, there's only 3 fighters on the UFC active roster that have fought 20 times without being knocked down. It's John Jones, Max Holloway, and Chito Vera.
Yep, that's why I'm picking Corey by decision. That dude's got a fucking iron chin, amazing cardio. He comes on strong in the 4th and the 5th, so that makes me a little nervous. But then I got like Corey trains at elevation. He's never had a cardio problem before, so on paper, that fight is going to be a fucking that's fight of the year right there, potential. And I don't see how it can't live up to the hype unless like some crazy knock on wood, like eye poke or some shit like that happens. Like, I think that fight's going to be fucking fire.
And I don't see why it would be at the Apex. Like, that fight deserves this packed arena full. You never fought the Apex, right?
Yeah, me and Emmett fought at the Apex. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the first one. There was no fans at the Apex, so that was like you could hear a pin drop. It was like, this is fucking weird. Yeah, that was the second Apex show. Say it again.
You could hear Joey Rodriguez, right, from his corner, and he could hear your corner and stuff. Like, it's weird.
Remember, it's funny because then I trained with him after, and I was like, I remember you hearing you talk shit in the corner, Danny Castillo. So I remember you talking shit in the corner.
Yeah. Yo, you mentioned Jamal Hill being one of the funniest guys. I gotta shout this man out. so underrated. You would never expect it. Corey Sandhagen's Instagram, if you check out, it's hilarious. He makes the funniest, like, these CBD videos he makes. They're so funny. I got to ask you, did you get that news about your wife? You have a kid on the way. Was that like on Christmas you got the news? Because you posted on Christmas.
Posted on Christmas, but I knew like maybe a month and change before that. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. I was just talking about that too. Like I'm still sitting here like kind of like pinching myself. Like I don't even know how it happened. Obviously I know how it happened. You know how babies come, but I made her do 3 tests because I was like, there's no way. I was like, we've been together for 10.5 years, and both my other kids were planned 100%. I don't know how this happened without getting into deep.
First boy, right? Still a chance?
Yeah, hoping for it. I find out, I think, in like 10 days. So, but you know what? As long as it's a healthy baby, I'm cool. Because honestly, if it's another girl, dude, I got 2 girls now. It's so easy having girls. I'm used to it at this point. So I'm like, you know what? Another girl would be easy. A boy would be fun. So you know what? A healthy baby. That's all I want.
Do the girls want another girl? Do they want a little sister or want a little brother?
Well, the little one probably doesn't. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. But she's like hardcore mama's girl. So she's in for a rude awakening real soon. Then my older daughter, she's 5. She's always saying girl, girl, girl. So I'm not surprised with that.
Okay. I'm going to let you go now. I have some news of my own. It's not as cool as having another baby on the way, but I just want to announce real quick. I signed with the publication for the first time since leaving Fight Club a month ago. I signed with Cage Side Press. I'm going to be working alongside Eddie Law, Gabriel Gonzalez, and if you know Alex Bahunin, he's the guy that does the humanizing athletes thing for all the events. So I'm really excited to work with a good group of guys and write some articles, maybe write about you one day if I'm lucky.
Awesome, man. Congrats on that. That's a good move right there.
Thank you, man. I want to get some experience before I graduate college, before I go out into the real world, and I don't know. We'll see, but I'm excited for it, bro.
Killing it, bro. Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you, man. I'm rooting for you, too. I'll see you at a PFL event next year, bro. Or this year, this year.
Soon. All right. Have a good one, all right?
See you at Tiger one day, too.
All right, bro.